Well, hey fans, welcome back to another movie review, and today we're talking about Godzilla and Kong, The New Empire. And first, I'd like to thank the sponsor for this review, MoviePass. So MoviePass is back and it's better than ever. It's a subscription-based ticketing service, and I've been using it for a few months now, and I just think it's great. And they have this neat new black card, and it feels great, and it's very easy to use. And unlike your AMC A-List or your Regal Unlimited, you can use MoviePass at almost any theater, and it is very simple to use. They now go off of a points-based system, so you pay every month, and that will vary depending on the market that you live in, and you'll get a certain amount of points to use for movies. And the price in terms of points for the movies varies depending on the day of the week that you go to the theater, the time of the showing, and how recently the movie has been released. So what you'll do is you'll go into the app, you'll click the movie that you want to see, unlock the card, and then pay. And you can also pick the online option for just a few more points if you don't want to wait in line. So again, thank you to MoviePass. So Godzilla and Kong, or Godzilla X Kong, or Godzilla Cross Kong, did they ever actually say what the little X means, or Kai, or whatever it is? They never actually explain how the title is said. So I'm just calling it Godzilla and Kong. So Godzilla and Kong is a kaiju action film directed by Adam Wingard, starring Rebecca Hall, Tyree Henry, Kaylee Hottle, and Dan Stevens. And this is the fifth film in the legendary MonsterVerse. And in this one you find Kong. He's, living in Hollow Earth now. He's trying to search all over this terrain to try and find any more great apes, to see if there's any more of his kind left. Meanwhile, on the surface, Godzilla is sensing some kind of threat that is arriving, so he's stocking up on energy, and eventually find out that that threat is indeed coming from Hollow Earth, and it ties into what Kong is searching for. So I really enjoyed the first Godzilla movie. I enjoyed Kong Skull Island, and after Godzilla King of the Monsters, which I think is the last normal one, something just switched. They just went into a totally different direction, kind of like the Fast and Furious franchise. When you got to Godzilla versus Kong, it's like all of a sudden we're in an unbelievable future world. The technology they have is super high tech all of a sudden, even though within the first film, they're using normal helicopters and planes and stuff like that. And it continues the high tech stuff with this one, of course. Once you make Godzilla versus Kong, you can't go backwards. You can only go forward in the storyline that you've continued with. And I have to say, it was fun. I had a fun time. I did not expect a lot from this film. I went to the theater, I ordered my large cherry icy and my big bag of popcorn. I just shoved it in my face the whole time watching these giant monsters fight each other. Because at this point, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see kaijus fight each other. We don't really care about the humans. And to speak about the humans in this film, I think Dan Stevens was fun. I think Tyree Henry was fun. Rebecca Hall was okay. Kaylee Hottle, I really liked her. The storyline really followed her a lot more than any of the other characters, because like Kong, she is the last of her kind. The Ewok people who are on Skull Island, she is the last survivor of that race. So she, of course, feels left out. So part of the film does follow her journey, of course, of finding out, are there more Ewok people in the Hollow Earth? So I really did enjoy that juxtaposition between her and Kong. And speaking of Kong, one of the greatest aspects of this film that I actually thoroughly enjoyed, Kong finds this young, I think he's like an orangutan type ape, I'm not exactly sure, but he's very similar to Kong in same species. They have there turns out to be a bunch of apes in this movie. And he has this cool, big brother type of fatherly bond with this young ape who's trying to get him killed from the moment he meets him. Just getting him into fights, trying to get him lost, stuff like that. But Kong, being the gentle giant that he is, just, goes along with it. And this was a great story. And I wish the entire film was mostly Kong getting to know and hang out with this young ape. And I remember hearing rumors a few years ago that after Godzilla vs. Kong, they really didn't know what they were going to do next. And one of the ideas they had was Son of Kong, which was actually the sequel to the original King Kong movie back in the day. The second one they did 9 months later was Son of Kong. So I think part of that original story did stick around for this. I just wish it stuck around more, because I do not feel that Godzilla was necessary for this movie. I think bringing Godzilla in was a mistake, and they just did that because people like Godzilla vs. Kong and they wanted to see them fight again. I think they should have made this story small, had it take place mostly in Hollow Earth, and just be about Kong and this little ape I think his name is Suko. I think they give him a name. And, you know, Kong finding the rest of the apes and then fighting Skar King. I don't think you needed, you know, Shimo the Ice Titan or Godzilla. You could have saved those characters for the next movie. And they should have either kept the Son of Kong title or named this King Kong, about how he became king of Hollow Earth. We have not actually had a King Kong movie. We've had all these Godzilla movies in the MonsterVerse. One Kong movie, which was Kong Skull Island. So, like I've said, I think they should have just stuck with the Kong story in this one. In terms of the CGI, it's not great, but it's not terrible. It's kind of like they've gotten complacent. Like a lot of the monster blood just looks like Nickelodeon goo, so that is not a big deal. The dialogue, the story, aside from that whole aspect with Kong and the young ape, not really that great. You're just here for the monsters. And this film even continues the craziness of Godzilla vs. Kong. First of all, as you've seen in the trailers, Kong has a power fist. Now, in the movie, it does make sense why he gets this power fist. And don't worry, he does not lose his axe. But they actually have a decent explanation considering the events of what happened in Godzilla vs. Kong and Mechagodzilla, why Kong has this awesome yellow gauntlet. So I didn't hate that, and it's cool to see him, you know, punch Godzilla with that. There is quite a bit of comedy, which I did laugh. Like I said, the movie's not taking itself too serious. They've gone in a new direction and they're sticking with it, and it seems to be doing well for them. This isn't like Godzilla -1. This isn't as great of a movie as what they did with that one. And I'm glad that they're not, you know, trying to compete with that film. That's his own thing. Adam Wingard knew exactly, you know, what he was making, what he wanted to make, and I'm sure he has ideas for what he's going to continue to do with this franchise. As long as it's making Warner Bros. Money, it's going to continue in this direction. Will there be a sequel? I hope so. I hope there's a sequel. I don't know where they're going at this point, but I'll be there opening day with my giant icy and my popcorn. In terms of a score, I'm just give it a solid 5 out of 10. Like I said, I wasn't expecting much from this film. It was exactly what I thought it was gonna be. And yeah, it is a fun summer blockbuster movie. I think it is doing well. I understand the summer can be stacked. I would have released this right in the middle of summer when kids are out of school. I think it would have made a little bit more money. But those are my thoughts. Thank you guys again for joining me for another movie review. Remember, you can watch the full review on YouTube and the website, flipfrogllc.com/flixfrog. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, pretty please, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.